Hello, hello, hello. Hang on. Is it on? Yeah. Hey. Oh, what a week. Back with the Neo top. Oh, this side. Back with the Neo top on. Love to see it. Love to see you guys as well. Thank you for coming in. What have we got going on? The lights are on. That's great. That's good stuff. Let me show you these. So I'll be showing these off a bit more soon. I don't wear glasses, but obviously these aren't just glasses. I'm sure people have seen them before. Yeah, there's some screens in there. Look at that. Oh, can't wait to actually... I'm getting something in the post tomorrow which will help me decide whether these are going to be a game changer or not. I'm curious. I'm not seeing much in the way of... I don't want to give it all away. You'll find out. You'll find out. You'll find out. Right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Caleb, good to see you, mate. Thank you for tuning in. So yeah, in the house at the minute, in the Practically Geek household, my wife has caught the chicken pox. So my daughter had it. You wouldn't have thought she had it because she was still running around the house dead mad, and you wouldn't think she had the chicken pox, but she did, and it's gone now pretty much. And my wife caught it because she's never had it before. So it's so it's at the minute I can only really get on my computer to do these live streams, and I'm lucky in that sense because obviously she's being very, very lovely and understanding. So I have got some live streams scheduled in. There's Owen Flem. I haven't seen you for ages, mate. How was... I mean, I'm assuming you're back from America now, mate, but how was it? And obviously, another congratulations as well, mate, because I know you got engaged to your partner. So, as I say, I'm sure I've said that, mate, but yeah, again, congratulations. And yeah, saw some of your aviation pictures. Very jealous indeed. That is the dream, to get over to the States, do some domestic flying, go and see those airports and stuff. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, mate. Yeah, so there will be live streams. At first I was like, there might not be. Certainly there won't be any videos. There won't be any making videos at the minute. Everything that I've got going on is kind of paused. Live streams are still going. I can take a bit of time out of my day to get on the computer. And went to Paris last Monday till Thursday. Nice, mate. Nice. Never been to Paris. Been to France a few times, but never been to Paris. So yeah, there will still be live streams. I've got some airport dedicated ones like we're going to see today. Some freeware airports on Thursday. What else have we got going on? We're going to take a look at I think it's a 2-year-old airport from InnyBuild next week on Monday. We're going to be taking a look at that. I've got one to give away. I understand that might not be to everyone's taste because it is about 2 years old. It actually came out just after 2024 released, but I missed it. I didn't actually start getting back into my live streams and video creation till January of the following year, so January 2025. That's when I kind of return to YouTube. And that was one that I missed. So I was thinking, how did I miss that? Because I even said to InnyBuilds, I said, I'm not too sure how I missed that, but I realized it actually came out just before I started doing my videos again. So we were taking a look at that one. You'll find out what that is. It's a US based one. Got an X-plane flight. We'll be taking a look at the Airbus, the Tolus A320 Neo over on X-plane 12. So that'll be at some point as well. I've got quite a few live streams scheduled in, so there's actually quite a few on my channel, but most of them are set to private at the minute, so they're all set up, ready to go. I just need to make them live and schedule those in. Just want to point this chap out again. There's Lee over there. Lee over on Virtual Airline Pilot. Please go and subscribe and view some of his videos. Please let him know that you've come from me. I am just going to go into the post at the minute that Lee put out a day or two ago. As you may or may not know, Lee actually suffered from an heart attack a couple of weeks back, and he is on the mend. He says, "Hello, friends, viewers, and subscribers. I'm back. Yes, after my recent mild heart attack, I'm feeling 100% and ready to get back to flying and reviewing. Beginning next week, the 11th of May, 2026, we start with a look at a new version of Perth Airport in Western Australia, Yankee Papa Hotel. We check out the 2020 version, a review carried over from before. Following this followed by a closer look at version 2 of Salt Lake City, in the state of Utah from PAXIM, over on 2024. All coming up in the week. I may take this opportunity to thank all of the kind words and best wishes for my recovery. You guys are real stars. Check out the website as always, and it's all linked in the live stream description, guys. So yeah, thank you to anyone who popped over to Lee's channel, popped in a little subscription and left your best wishes. I appreciate it. If you didn't, then please do. He is a man after my own heart. He does look at the airport scenery side of things in the sim, pretty much like myself. As you know, I've started doing a few full flight live streams and some other bits recently after getting more confident with the Phoenix Airbus. I've had a little go at the InnyBuilds A350 as well, and I'm pretty happy with that actually, so I might get that on the channel and do some flying with that, see if you enjoy it. I certainly am. It's a bit different, but yeah, it's all Airbus, so it has its familiar parts. Anyway, let's get on with this live stream so I can tell you a bit more about what we're doing in this live stream. We are starting with, let me just put it on. There we go. We're starting with Salzburg because I have done I think I did a video a while back, a couple of months back, about default airports, and the reason why I like doing these videos and live streams about this subject in the sim is from a perspective that it is easily easily ignored or forgotten. I'm letting the Blackbird Simulation C-130. Have fun, mate. I'd love to learn more, but right now I'm trying to... InnyBuilds A330 is incredible to fly. I had to go, mate, obviously, going from the A320, A321. It's really not that different. Admittedly, the A330, the default A330 on X-Plane 12, I would say is very nice. It sounds incredible. It really does. Paolo, good to see you, mate. Hi, Brian. Hope you're well. I'm all right, mate. Yeah, obviously it's a bit difficult at home at the minute, but everything will be back to normal soon. But yeah, thank you for coming in, mate. But yeah, the A330 in X-Plane 12, the sounds just absolutely sort of really overshadow Microsoft Flight Simulator. But I do think we need a better A330. InnyBuilds need to get it updated or possibly release it on their own side, similar to the A340 and the A350. But it is good, mate. I do agree, and it is fun going from the A320 up to the A330 just with that extra weight, and you can feel the size difference. Of course, it's a bit weird saying that with a simulator, but you can definitely notice the size difference. I do think it needs a more premium version though, if I'm going to be totally honest, but it is nice that it's a default plane in the sim. So yeah, these videos and live streams, I like doing these because they are, I did need something chill this week after everything, and I love going around these airports. I love taking a look at them. So these airports are very they're very easy to miss in my opinion. They are introduced either one of two ways, really. Sometimes they come as default handcrafted in the sim, as standard, out the box, if you like. They're introduced as a more detailed version of an airport. Now, we have every airport, every helipad, you know, every... What did they say? Every oil rig in 2024 now. And I can only imagine what it would take to... introduce every handcrafted airport. It would take a long time. And that's why Microsoft, obviously, they have their third parties. They have people like Guinea Builds and Zhevietsky and Pyrigi and RW Profiles, Digital Design. All those guys to help things along. Obviously, they come at a price. We have a massive freeware community as well, just for the PC, sadly, who can fill in the gaps. And then every few months, Microsoft have a world update and they improve a country or countries in some cases and add in around 6 to 7 new handcrafted airports. Now this actually got added in from what I can remember, World Update 6, which was Germany, Austria and Switzerland. And we've got a couple to look at. We've got World Update 6, World Update 4, World Update 14 and World Update 16. So we're going to be having a look at 5 default airports. So as we go through this, guys, if you're unsure why you haven't got this particular airport in the sim, it's because you haven't activated in 2024's instance, you haven't activated that particular world update, or you haven't installed it. So that'll be the reason why you haven't got it. And this is the point. This is why I like doing these videos, is because sometimes they do get, they slip under the radar. These airports, they're very, very easily missed, particularly if you're not really interested in that part of the world. Maybe it's, not everyone activates or installs these world updates. I hope with doing these live streams and videos that I can kind of shed some light. I can show you these handcrafted airports, and these are made by Gaia Simulations. Of course, we had a look at all of Gaia Simulations Australian airports in the recently released World Update 21. And obviously Gaia Simulations are also going to be making Corfu soon. I'm not too sure when that's going to be, but they will be introducing Corfu. And with seeing those Australian airports, I'm very, very excited to see what Corfu's like. And I must admit, Gaia Simulations have got better and better with their World Update quality, with the World Update handcrafted airports. The quality in them is very nice. And this is an interesting one, this one, because Salzburg, you can get it RD presets. I think they did one. I don't think RD presets are actually a company anymore. Digital Designs also do a Salzburg. One of sort of the originals. It's still highly rated as well. What I will say, this is going to become, if Salzburg is something that you want to fly, it's in a lovely location, lovely approaches into the airport. I'm pretty sure there is ILS at this airport. If Salzburg isn't a location for you, then what I'm going to say, do you know what's funny as well? On my live stream here, there's banding on the, just to cut myself off as I always do. If you look at this hangar we're looking at, just here, you're going to see that there's a lot of banding. I don't know if you can see that on OBS. I can see it very clearly. All this warping. This isn't happening in the sim, by the way, just to let you guys know. Quite interesting. It's probably something to do with the capture in some ways, but I don't have that happening in front of me right now, just so you guys know. Yes, this is going to be a hard proposition, because the guys who did Newcastle, RW Profiles, the guys who did that excellent Newcastle scenery, this is actually their next airport, Salzburg, and it's actually where they're from. In fact, I think the lead man, Michael, he is actually, I'm pretty sure he told me that he lives right outside the airport. It's their local airport, guys, so expect a very, very detailed Salzburg scenery. Payware will be out at some point. It's their next one, and I'm very excited to see it, especially because I think they've got a museum over the other side of the runway. But if you're not too bothered about forking out for some freeware, then the default handcrafted one, absolutely free. You can download it. If it's not installed for yourself now, it can very easily be. And it is very nice. The quality of the hangars is lovely. Now, if you're interested in having interiors and all that jazz, then you're not going to get it with this Salzburg. So RW Profiles one might be a good proposition, but this is fantastic. It is in a photogrammetry area, so you are going to be getting a lot of, I can just show you. You are going to be getting a lot of the real life buildings surrounding this airport. And I think even now we are seeing developers get really clever and great with the integration between the photogrammetry areas and the airport. This is quite a while back now, so it's quite good to see that the actual, I guess, the coverage of the photogrammetry blending in with the airport is still really, really nice. And the photogrammetry itself, it's not the standard we're getting now, because we are getting a really, really good standard nowadays with the photogrammetry. But I tell you what, at an approach altitude, and look, they've even put, are these gates down here? Or no, they're not. They're just shadows. It really did look like a gate then. But we do have surrounding gates, surrounding fences to the airport. Look at the view there. I mean, this is live weather at the minute, so I do like to do me full flights with live weather. But if you're on approach, let's have a look. You can see actually the pappies do interact with the drone camera, which is quite nice. This is the height you're going to be at, and I think the photogrammetry is pretty nice. I think the quality that you're going to see out the window is more than acceptable. Pretty nice. So yeah, Salzburg is a default handcrafted airport, and it is one of those that can go unnoticed if you're not looking at the world updates, because I think if you don't install them or activate them, you can see them advertised on a trailer, of course, and they're very easily forgotten. Look at that. We've even got some. It's not great. It's definitely not the best we've seen, but you've got some landscape and some of the fences are glitching through there. But for an airport that is based around photogrammetry, tell you what, it's not bad at all. There's some kind of factory. Is it a hangar? Is it part of the airport? Let me have a little look. It doesn't look like it. Oh no, maybe it is actually. But it's very nicely modeled. Like I say, I've got a few more to show you as well on this live stream. There's a couple of others. I've got one in Germany, one in Netherlands. We've got one in, I'm not too sure what that is, where that is, and one over in the Caribbean, of all places. The idea for this, admittedly, was to make a video, but I've had to chop some things up and kind of save them out to some live streams. Not what I wanted to do, but it is kind of the fastest way I can get this out and make it into some kind of content. That said, I have got some hardware related things to make a video of, so there will be some pre-recorded stuff coming to the channel soon. And yeah, I think the quality is fantastic. In most cases, Gaia simulation, especially nowadays, or these last couple of world updates, they are getting into the I mean, even this, payware category, payware quality. And after seeing the Australian ones, like I said before, it is getting into that territory of being payware quality for absolutely free. Here's the what I believe is the museum. I can't really tell you what is in the museum. I'm sure some people will know. But it has been 3D modeled. Now, what I remember is, I think the digital designs one, because I did have the digital designs one for a while, there is like a 2D texture showing you some of the windows and stuff. There's also, I'm pretty certain there's a couple of planes outside here, or they bring them outside, you know. Some nice car parks and, you know, custom cars. What is actually interesting is that I'm not too sure how long ago this world update was, but these cars are actually the 2024 models. These are those really high quality 2024, you know, SDK assets, if you like, you know. And I always say to myself, it's just really detailed for what it needs to be, doesn't it? Bikes and stuff like that, trucks. And yeah, it is really nice default scenery. Be taking a good look around them, of course. Some of them bigger than others. Salzburg probably being the biggest, but I'm not starting in any particular order. I think this one being the most obvious because it is quite a big airport, you know. More airport sort of factory buildings and units, and it is fantastic. I'd love to know if you are watching live streaming or watching back the live stream. Please let me know if you were aware of these, if you were any of them, of course, whether you use them or whether you would rather have a payware version of it. Mickey, good to see you, mate. I haven't seen you for a while, man. I don't know if you've been in the live streams just lurking, but good to see you, mate, in the live chat. I hope you've been well. Yeah, it's been a bit mad over in the PG house recently. Obviously, we had the little mini flood through the ceiling. We've had my daughter having chicken pox. My wife's got now chicken pox. Yeah, I think that was all three, really, wasn't it? It comes in threes, they say, so. Work. Yeah, mate, it is what it is, isn't it? I mean, sometimes I'd always like to be on the computer getting stuff done, and it's just, yeah, it's not always the case, unfortunately, you know. As I've mentioned quite a few times, or at least in passing, I don't currently work. I would like to be at this point. There was a time, maybe in the last year or so, where I wasn't quite ready to make it back into a work environment. I am now, but it is very, very difficult, very competitive, it seems. There's a lot of jobs available, but I'm not getting absolutely any bites. I'm not getting any interviews. I'm actually not getting any replies off in employers, which I think is I always think it's an annoying thing, but I know they get through so many applications and people and stuff. I understand that it can't always be a thing, you know. But yeah, soon enough, I definitely won't be able to live stream as much. But while I can, I'm going to be doing as much stuff as I can be doing. But yeah, good to see you, mate. Anyway. But watch them all, but not in real time. Yeah, well, cheers, mate. Thank you so much. I mean, I know other people like to live stream for 6-7 hours or whatever, and even with the 2-hour live streams, it's quite hard to get people to come and re-watch them afterwards. I might need to start chopping them down, spending some time with the YouTube editor and chopping bits down. But yeah, like I say, guys, this is looking at some of the default airports that you can either download or activate, part of world updates. And I'll be showing more on Thursday. I've got some freeware to show you as well. There's some mega ones in there. Got, as I say, quite a few live streams to come over the next 2 weeks. I think I'm adding a few more in as well. I've just added in another sort of first look for me, definitely not for you guys, because it's a very, very old airport that came out at the start of Flight Sim 2024. But Salzburg, I tell you what, there is a few payware versions of Salzburg, and I think, in my opinion, right now, if it's an airport that you use a few times, this is definitely the way to go for now. Like I say, RW Profiles are releasing. Salzburg is their next project. So if you are wanting a really high fidelity version of this airport, then that is the one to go for. And look at this, there's actually an interior to this part of the terminal. I didn't actually know that. So when I say if you wanted an interior, well, apparently you do have one, and it also has collision on it as well, meaning that you are going to be able to walk through there. It's not a massively detailed terminal. There is one, and I think that is just mainly to enjoy from the stand of the aircraft. Yeah. This is Salzburg, yeah. This was, I believe it was the World Update 6. I could be wrong, though. It says Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. I don't know. World Update 6 seems like it was a while back, and for me, the quality of this is fantastic. I don't know if it's had like a little bit of an upgrade in 2024, because it is using a lot of 2024 assets. I mean, this particular Jeep, this is an old model. It's not the dead old model, but it's definitely an older model compared to some of the... You can actually see the new ones here. These are the new models in 2024. But it's fantastic. It really is. For a free handcrafted airport, you can't go wrong. I will definitely be featuring the RW Profiles Salzburg when it comes out. I know the guys are really, really busy and hard at work getting that one ready for us. But I mean, for now, this is a fantastic one. And you know what? You might not want to spend money. If you've got a default airport like this, to this standard, you might not want to buy a payware one, regardless of how beautiful and highly detailed it is, because, well, it does the job. I think if it's a local airport to you, and it's something that an airport you use very regularly, then definitely RW Profiles will be giving you a very, very detailed version. Look, you've got all the tails as well. I love this. I don't know if it's still at Salzburg, but I love this. I love that it's even part of the scenery as well. I've just bought Appleton, and how do you say it? I know, because I know our good friend Aviator Crow did the trailer for it, didn't he? Lion. I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry, but yeah, Appleton's fantastic. I liked Appleton. It does need a couple of things fixed and stuff in that, but it's very, very nice. That one looks fantastic as well. Very busy holiday destination, I believe, that one. Got the big Salzburg sign on it as well. And I thought we'd start with this one because it's probably the most obvious one. One that people probably know is there and part of, the handcrafted Gaia simulation stuff. But I am curious to see what RW Profiles do, for sure. It's even got some petrol stations here around here. Look at this. Petrol stations and some car washes and stuff like that. I think this road, I mean, it's oddly enough, it's not very detailed. It looks like this is a landside road that you can go all the way along underneath Salzburg, the actual airport itself. It's actually a really cool layout for an airport. I love to see. You've even got, there's quite a lot of detail, like the new Australian airports. If you tuned into the Australian live stream, they've definitely, this is fantastic, but they've definitely improved over the years, and it was never bad. It's just you can see the progression of of how they do things. Still a lot of clutter, ground clutter. Still a lot of lovely detail around the airport. The actual control tower has got an interior as well. The only thing that Gaia Simulations are forgetting with these airports is the people models. Like, there's no static people, there's no animated people. And, you know, Asobo, Microsoft did introduce some of the new models, some of the new, like, people models around the airport. So it is quite interesting to see that they haven't added any in. It is the same for the Australian one. It's not that it's kind of an old thing. The Australian update, there was absolutely tons of clutter and vehicles and just fantastic modeling, but there was no people. It's a bit odd. Night lighting's lovely. I think the night lighting is definitely a mixture between the two. Obviously, 2020 and 2024. You can usually tell with the spotlights. For me, the spotlights give it away if the scenery was, created on 2024, because it's a lot more realistic. Still fantastic the way it is, and you'll notice that this is more of a fake lighting. I think you can see it is actually illuminating the space below, but there's no actual. Doesn't look like there's a real-time light source in there. It looks like more like a light texture. We have actually got, by the looks of it, I was talking about the interiors before, and it does actually look like we've got partial interiors to this as well. Like, they're definitely not go in and explore things, but they're still quite nice. Can't get in there. There's obviously a bit of collision in there, so you can definitely walk around there with the avatar. In fact, our plane is just there. Let's have a little. Now the problem is we're in the thingy, aren't we? We're in the Phoenix. Is it stuck? It does this from now on. Just like kind of stick sometime. Let's just jump out the plane. Whee! Oh. Oh, oh. Whee! But yeah, it looks like there is an interior. I didn't actually think there was an interior to this, which is a bit weird. There's actually some nice detailing up there as well. I don't know if there's like any kind of roof terrace at Salzburg. I think there is. Let's have a little look. I'll tell you what, it is fantastic for the, for being a free handcrafted one. And depending when RW Profiles get their one out. Oh, I tell you what, it's got absolutely no opening for the avatar to get in either. Just a collision on the windows. Interesting. Let's see if we should be able to get in with this. Yeah. Tell you what, it's detailed enough. It's got the textures on it and stuff. And see if there's anything else. There's that sign there. Good old distance sign. I don't know if this is a terrace up here. I think it might be where you can actually come out onto the roof, because I wouldn't be sure why they'd put that there, because you couldn't actually see it from the ground. But yeah, there is a few interior spaces that they have modeled in, which is fantastic. And as well, with again the Australian update, they've done a lot of interiors there as well. But again, they just leave out the people models, so they look a bit empty. This is like the check-in area, I guess, for this sort of. I don't know if there's two terminals technically at Salzburg, but it looks like you'd go through one of these doors and then you go into this airside section. It's partially there. It's very nice to look at from the outside, definitely. But again, this was one of the earlier world updates, so I don't expect it to be as detailed what they're doing now, you know. So yeah, that is Salzburg. You can obviously, if you've not got this, for some reason you're thinking, why haven't I got it? Just double check your world updates. Go and activate it on 2024, or go and download it on 2020, and you'll have it right there. Let's go to our next one, which I'm gonna struggle to say because you know what I'm like at pronunciations. This is Frieden, no, don't. I said it before. Friedrichshafen. Friedrichshafen. Yeah. Laugh it up. It is Echo Delta November Yankee. This one here. Yeah. Absolutely spot on with the pronunciation. This. Don't think we're going to be getting a AT20 in here. Let's just stick the good old 172 in or the Beechcraft Bonanza is absolutely fine. Let's stick it over here. Get some light into here as well. Doesn't look like over in Europe, over the Central Europe, we're getting any nice weather like we've been getting over here. Absolutely gorgeous day today where I live. Right, now this one, I'm very keen to show off because I don't think I've had a proper look around this one. Not as much as Salzburg. I think the others I've not looked at as much. But this one's over in Germany, and this is a lovely little, I would guess, I don't think you would class it as a regional, you know, like what they do over in America. Certainly quite a nice size airport. But this one has just got so much to it that I had to share it. Next to the lake, yeah. Friedrichs. Thank you. Friedrichshafen. Friedrichshafen. Thank you, though. Thank you. This one is nice. Yeah, this one, there's a couple that I've there's quite a few in Germany actually. There was a lot introduced in this update, and this is the same. Look at the clouds on the lake though. Look at that. There's another one as well. There's quite a few in Germany that really can be missed. This is definitely one of them. Friedrichshafen. Hafen. I'm terrible, mate. Just ignore me. I'm absolutely terrible. Sometimes I can pronounce them spot on. I've had people from the same location and stuff say, yeah, you've got it spot on. Sometimes I completely butcher the language, so I do apologize. I really, really do. But this one's got so much. There's another one in Germany that is right by, I think it's a lake as well, and it's I've reserved that for either another video or another live stream because it's also very, very densely populated. Got a lot of custom buildings. I would say this one just as good. There's a lot of custom buildings and clutter, ground equipment. They've also done a lot with the buildings around the airport as well. Like, this reminds me of when sort of indie builds do surrounding points of interest and stuff. The quality of the buildings is very, very nice. The ground, sort of the roads and the car parks are not amazing. Definitely not what we'd see in the more pay-work quality airports, of course. But because this is free, I mean, what are you gonna do about it? No, but they are nice. They are nice. There's a lot to unpack with this one. Like, for instance, that over there. Like, this is the reason why I want to show you these buildings off into the distance there. So we'll end our tour of this airport with those because, well, Gaia Simulations have done a fantastic job with that. The little factory sites, and look at this as well. I thought that was a big, massive tennis court. Maybe reservoir, something to do with water for sure. This area isn't photogrammetry, sadly. There's still autogen here, which just means that obviously when they did the world update, they didn't have this as photogrammetry, but that's all good because we've got a cracker of an airport here. Let's have a little look. I think the satellite, the satellite imagery of the grass and everything is fantastic here. It really is. Very crisp. You know, you can see the textures in the mud and the grass. And then all the aprons down this side of the runway. Different bits of coloured concrete and weathering and dirt. There's not one solid uniform texture in all of this. It looks very natural, very realistic. Some hotels, maybe. Some car dealerships as well. Look at that. And I think some of these I was very blown away by anyway, just to see them as a default world update airport. Actual interior. There's no minis in there, like they've sold out, of course, but there's an interior BMW showroom in there with all the different sales desks. It's pretty good. Loads of hangars. Again, it's just devoid of people, sadly. There's just not enough people models to make it just that little bit more alive. There's a lot of objects, a lot of clutter, stairs and buses. I don't know if why there'd be a coach on the apron here, but a little bit of rain coming down now, which will obviously give the ground a lovely little look to it. Live weather out here looks really nice as well. Like I said before, the new models, the new vehicle models on 2024 are just so detailed. It's ridiculous. This Corvette looking, they're like GTA vehicles. They haven't got the real name to them, but they are kind of, copies. That one definitely is a Dodge Charger, maybe. You can see some cars that are very much copies. Let's carry on. Because, like I say, we've got a couple to look at. We've got a couple. We've got another 3 after this to look at. And as I say, they all varied in size. And do you know what? The last 2, I haven't got a clue when I looked at them and added them into the list. So that's going to be interesting, not just for you guys, but for me, because I can't remember looking at them. I mean, look at this. Look at the detail on this sort of older hangar. And this is what I was saying about really getting more and more excited for Gaia Simulations Corfu, because I can only surmise that they've got maybe a dedicated team for Microsoft Flight Sim, and maybe sort of their own third-party stuff, going back to Corfu and doing that scenery. Kind of an engine test and run-up bay type area. Again, very detailed. You know, the actual structure itself, everything's got bits of rust and dirt, and you definitely wouldn't expect the quality. Bit of a yeah. I tell you what, the train track though, that is definitely modelled in. Definitely some kind of texture being added there. Don't think I'd want to ride it on a train because, well, it's a bit bumpy in it. There's just a lot of variation on this airport. So many different types of buildings, hangars, old and new. A little bit of a terminal building here, maybe. I don't know. There's definitely, it's more of an aged building. You know, maybe the original control tower in there. Definitely looks like an old-fashioned control tower. And then different aprons with, you know, surrounded fences and gates as well. Look at this. I'm not too sure what this is. Possibly some kind of museum, I want to say. Oh, it is. The Dornier Museum, this is. There you go. Not bad at all, not bad. And then this really sort of, I don't know, a German looking building, I don't know. Definitely looks like the kind of the German buildings that they put up in the, you know, the English Christmas markets when they've got like the German sausages and stuff like that. Traditional is what I'm trying to say, but it's very nicely done. I am gonna guess that maybe an original barracks. I don't know. I'm just taking a guess at that. But I love still that you've put a lot of the, you know, the authentic signage in, because even with it being handcrafted, you know, Gaia simulations, they don't have to go as full on. It is payware quality. Like, you know, if you buy these airports as an add-on product, a payware one, then, you know, you're not going to be disappointed. And this is what I was saying in the Australian live stream, that, you know, we have had a lot of things, you know, yeah, okay, the sim isn't perfect. It has its, you know, I mean, I don't know whether I would say mostly it's something to do with INI builds, but, you know, I had the infamous WASM crash in the A350 when I was setting it up. I got to the point of where I was about to get pushed back, and then all the screens just went orange, and, you know, it gets frustrating, but I tell you what, we are given quite a lot for free, and a really good quality level. I'm glad that Microsoft chose Gaia Simulations for their, you know, their points of interest in airport modeling, because they do it really well. I'm a big fan of Gaia Simulations, even before they started doing the stuff with Microsoft. There's actually some videos on my channel that you can still go back and look at, Gaia Simulations ones. Their airports were very, very good. Ibis Hotel there. Look, you know, look at the detail. There's you know, there's water and, you know, weathered edges of the building that are, you know, are textured in. Very, very nice, very high quality. And like I say, guys, if none of these airports that you're seeing on this live stream are appearing in your sim, then just look at your world updates. And it'll be because they're not either activated or downloaded. Let's have a little look. Here we go. I would say probably the main terminal building. No interiors to it. Still looks great though. A lot of ground clutter. And then when we get round the other side, the hangars and everything, they look stunning. They really are. The modelling work on the hangars over the other side of the airfield are really, really nice. The chalet you showed was the birthplace of Dornier Company, apparently. Ah, okay. Thank you, mate. Makes sense. I mean, look at this. You've got all of the correct advertisement boards. I'm assuming they're going to be probably not there now. They probably show something different, but the landside area is done very well. Look at this. All German advertisements, cars and billboards. Just again, there's no people, which is just a bit of a shame. But I don't know if that really bothers me. I think if it was a payware product and I was paying top dollar for it, then yeah, maybe I'd be like, the airport's just, although there's a lot of ground clutter and a lot of things going on, the fact that there's no passengers or people here, it just makes it feel a bit dead, But still very detailed. Look at the amount of car parks they've got going on, all the trees and the foliage and everything around. And again, all enclosed with perimeter fencing as well. Haven't seen any open hangars, but I tell you what, there is an open hangar we're going to go and have a look at in a second. Approach lights and stuff like that look fantastic. All default, of course, just part of the scenery that you'd get anyway, even on some of the auto gen stuff. I tell you what, I'm very impressed with the ground imagery here, the satellite imagery. And again, the texturing on the runways and the taxiways does look really updated. It's definitely what we'd used to with the standard 2024s given. But here's where it gets interesting. Look at this. Look at the amount of, I don't know what these are. They're not aircraft hangars. Maybe they were back in the day. But there's no way for aircraft to get where they need to be. It's weird because they look new, but they also look like hangars. This could possibly be something to do with Dornier. I am not sure. I need to have a little look at that. Still, we are getting a lot of stuff every update for free. So many games give. Yeah, I mean, this is what we got to look at. Is that I said it a few times, which I probably shouldn't have said. Don't give Microsoft any ideas, but I think they easily could have charged people for these updates and city updates and other things like that. But they haven't. They said they're just introduced every time. And I think other developers, probably would have got wise to it and said, let's sell this update or let's sell these airports separately because they're very, very good quality. Why not? Like you said, maybe for paid updates you want a bit more, but these free ones, they look great. They do, and they keep on getting better, mate. They really do. I am curious to see what this is. Something to do with Dornier, maybe? I don't know. Or Dornier, sorry. Let's have a little look. Dornier Museum. No, this isn't. What is this? I mean, it's cool that they've even modeled it in, mapped it in. It looks stunning on the pictures, but these all look like sort of work in progress pictures, like back in the day when the plans were first sort of revealed to the public, like concept plans and stuff. But I tell you what, is extreme. I mean, look at even the roads around here have got all the markings. Is it actually got an interior to them? They're actually are they conference? Are these convention hall? Look at that. Now, I have seen most of this airport when I was looking at it originally, but I did not know there was interiors to these. Wow. I'm assuming these are big convention. We saw them at Stuttgart, Aerosoft Stuttgart. They did a load of convention centers. Is this the same thing? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, it's a big event, a massive events section next to the airport. They have loads going on, air shows and concerts and cars, surfboards. Yeah, it's quite impressive. Wow. Okay, let's have a little look. Have they put any night lighting in here? Wow. Okay. And that is really nice. That is incredibly nice night lighting. Like, wow. Still got some of these. I think these are byproducts of 2020. These, floating UFO lights used to always really annoy me on sceneries, but I think they're just leftovers from 2020. But I didn't know that they mapped all of this. This is a massive big convention center, similar to, like I say, the one near Stuttgart Airport. And yeah, I didn't realize that Gaia Simulations had done the whole massive complex with an interior. Um, I mean, it's an empty space. Don't get me wrong, but it begs the question why the terminal wasn't done. If that makes sense, the actual terminal to the airport, and maybe they just had a better reference. Because I'd imagine these are quite publicly shown on the internet. Maybe they didn't have much to work with the terminal. But pretty impressive, Gaia Simulations. I did not know that you'd done all of this massive center. Nice. Expo center, yeah. There's some cars in there as well, and the night lighting looks very, very good. Especially with this live weather. And this is definitely the main thing I wanted to show you. The airship hangar. Let's have a little look just in case I don't miss anything else. These are all auto gem buildings. There's no photogrammetry like I said, but let's have a little look at this. This is pretty impressive. Ideal place for the FX Expo, yeah, yeah. I agree, mate. They'd absolutely, yeah, definitely, definitely. Look at this airship hangar. And this is what really impressed me when I was thinking for a default airport that you can just download for free. It's mirrored. I don't think it's like a spot on interior. Like I don't think it's modeled to the specific specifications, but it is very cool to see it in a default scenery. If there's any light into it. Pretty cool. I'm still blown away that they've done all this convention. So like you can see the exit lights. Oh no, you like the the hall numbers. That's pretty cool. Like it really is. And again, if anyone's interested in Corfu, I know we've had. Did Flight Tampa do Corfu? I think they did, didn't they? I don't think they updated it for 2024. But if you're interested in having Corfu back in the sim at a really good quality Corfu, then definitely keep an eye out for Gaia Simulations Corfu. They're gonna do a great job on it. Look at that. The Ibis Hotel looks fantastic. Look at that. And they've used, see, this is how you do it. This is how you do it, guys. We've had to look at some payware airports recently, and I don't see any of that here. The really, really, you can see it on the AutoGen buildings. That's the best example of it. In my opinion, just from going from airport to airport in the sim for 6 years now, as a payware, you shouldn't be doing this for your windows at night. And I know people will go, well, aren't you a bit of a snob for your airports? I am, yeah, I am. But in a good way. I'm trying to say to developers, this is the lighting you get on auto-generated buildings, the really low-end stuff that the sim comes with. It shouldn't be on your sceneries, and Gaia Simulations have not done any of the... Oh, hang on, am I lying? No, it's just a really, really white door. You can see it. Some of them, I've got I think these are just 2D textures with a bit of light around them. That looks great. It's not the most, high fidelity thing you can do. The best thing you could probably do is one of two things: use a parallaxed interior with real light, or use an actual real interior with light. That you can't beat that, but it's not. It can't. You're not. Some people aren't in the. Some developers can't always have a parallaxed interior with fancy lighting in. But Gaia Simulations here, they haven't bothered actually at all. You can see that they even windows here. There's nothing lit up here, but they haven't put any of that. Really, really, it's like a light box, isn't it? It's like a just a texture with light from behind it, or like a fake lighting. They haven't done that here. They've either used a 2D sort of room texture and put some light onto it, which looks fantastic. And overall, the night lighting in this airport is very nice. Still, some of these, I don't know if they're still the thing in 2024. I mean, they obviously are. But in 2020, these sort of weird UFO lights. Look at this. I think, have we got an interior here? And have I completely missed it out? No, these are actually parallax. Look at that. It's not the best implementation of a parallaxed interior, but it works. And then Gaia Simulations make me look like a fool. I think maybe they've done it here. I'm not too sure. Maybe, no, I don't think it is actually. It's just the texture of the windows. But yeah, I can't see any. You can see it on the AutoGen buildings. This. But yeah. I mean, even this building here, it's supposed to be like a parallaxed, faked interior, but they've got the angles all off, so it looks like everything's sloping. But again, it's a good effort. It's a free airport. It's default, you know what I mean? So, someone's having a disco. I don't even want to know what you're doing, mate. Just yeah, get on with it. Maybe a couple of instances there, but these look like just 2D interiors with some light behind them, which is absolutely fine. I always feel like I'm being picky there, but I'm not. I'm just saying, it's if you're paying for the scenery, then the scenery's getting more expensive, aren't they? They get, don't think I've seen anything cheaper than sort of 13, 14 quid now, which I guess makes sense. We are getting more and more detailed, especially with 2024. Right, let's head west. Let's take a look at another one. And this was only put in the list because of the city update for FS weekend, sort of Netherlands way, stuff like that. I only discovered this airport then, and I was really impressed. It was very, very impressive. Head back into the map and scrolly up, and then we are just here, Rotterdam. This is very, very good. And oddly enough, this one was... I couldn't find a really good... Because at first it said it was World Update 6, which obviously it wouldn't have been. Because that was Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. This one apparently was from World Update 4. I don't know how correct that is, because this looks just as good as anything you can get now. Let's stick the Bonanza here and have a little look at Rotterdam. Because I love this one. This is very detailed. I mean, they're all detailed. What was that, though? Right. Apologies. Let me just have a little drink. Oh, right. Okie doke. Let's have a look at Rotterdam. Some of these menus are really messed up in Sim Update 5, by the way. So let me know, guys, because I haven't asked this properly. Anyone in the chat or in the commentary watching, please. The configuration button in the aircraft menu, so you know when you're going to change your liveries and stuff, is that broken for you guys? As in, you can't click on it with your mouse and you have to press F. Also, is this broken? You can press it with the mouse, but you can't press it with anything else. Like, my controller used to be able to press on that and it doesn't work now. Completely wrecking the UI. Let's have a little look around. For this live stream, I actually disabled chase plane because it would have just annoyed me. Just because I had to disable it to get into me drone camera. Yeah, so this is Rotterdam, and I tell you what, I love this one. Really, really like this one because, again, a lot of custom buildings. Ground textures are great. The road textures, they put them all in. They've put a little entrance to the airport. They've done a lot with the road on the perimeter. Again, Gaia Simulations are one of those developers who do, and this is not a sponsored. I am promoting Gaia Simulations. I'm not at all. I'm just saying how good they are at the surrounding aspect of things. So knowing that a airport has roads and other things leading to the runway, so the approach, the departure. Let me just itch me ear. I haven't got flow, so it definitely can't be that. It was definitely something to do with Sim Update 5. For me, it might not be a thing for people, but definitely is for me. It definitely doesn't work. But yeah, what I mean by the surrounding aspect is obviously the surrounding roads. Is having these roads mapped in. So when you're on approach, you can see where things have obviously they drop off and they're not modeled anymore. But I like this. I like that the approach into this runway, it's got a road mapped in. Also, as well, can we appreciate again the ground texture and the satellite imagery? You can actually see the lily pads and the moss and the dirt around this particular lake, like the detail in this water here. All right, you start getting a bit closer, things become a bit more pixelated, but it's lovely, lovely detail. Obviously now made photogrammetry because of the last city update. And then as you come into the airport or the surrounding areas of the airport, there's just a lot of custom things going on. This big packet of matchmakers as well. I'm joking. I know. You have to know what matchmakers are to get that joke. But also as well, little bus shelters. I mean, they're floating off the floor, but bus shelters. Rotterdam Central, there you go. Platform 1. And then you've got all of, again, the surrounding buildings. Petrol stations, fences. Street lamps. Very nice. Again, didn't know this was added in. I only found this because of the the city update. The last one we got was for FS weekend. So it was like the Netherlands. They had all loads of photogrammetry areas. Like all these, look at these hangars. Now, they are some of the, I mean, yes, some of the, you look at the textures here. They're a bit blurry, but honestly, like, they're really, old. This reminds me of some of the earlier, or at least not the earlier, but the Pilot Plus type of modeling and texture in this. God, I miss Pilot Plus. Do you know what? No one has been able to give me an actual answer on Pilot Plus. I've asked loads of people, developers, creators. No one knows where they went, because you can still buy the stuff. Sometimes it's on promotion at Orbex. The website still works. You can't contact anyone, but you can still buy stuff. You can still download your files and stuff. It is very odd now. I don't know whether that means they're gone completely or they've just left. They've just left the stuff there just for people to use for a certain amount of time. But yeah, those guys made very, very good sceneries, very good airport sceneries. Biggin Hill, for example, was incredible. I think they were the only guys who did Southend Airport as well. But yeah, the Rotterdam, look at it. It is really, really good. Not too. Do we have British Airways and Transavia here? Transavia. Well, apparently there's a Embraer going out. This will be just like traffic. Apparently we do. Now, what it will be shown is, at some point, I think it's this week, is Flight Control Spotter, the recent update. I don't want to show too much of this off, but you can now track AI. You can now track AI models with it as well. How cool is that? It's not the I will be fully transparent. Fabio, a great guy, has sent me replaying Flight Control Spotter, the external programs, and I will say some things are still. I don't know why we can't change the distance on the the distance and the angle. I haven't asked them yet, but you can definitely zoom in on these as well. Admittedly, fast moving off aircraft are not the best, because I can't seem to move the camera. Also, he's doing a bit of a wheelie there as well. Look at that. But yeah, keep an eye out for that, because I will be showing more of that. Fantastic for your virtual plane spotters for sure. But yeah, now I've got to try and get out of this, because I will admit the only way I think we can do it is put it into camera spot view, I think. Or potentially pause it and come back out of it. Yeah. Right. Let's carry on. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. I want to show you guys that. Do some virtual plane spotting at a busy airport. And this is... Oh, I tell you what. Look at that. We've got an actual partial interior. Look at that, guys. Like, that is some really nice, free, payware quality stuff, isn't it? I love the kind of grass, mossy type roof. Like, look at that. The detail in that is fantastic. So many different levels to the... I'm going to get a picture there. Can I get a screenshot? Like, so many different levels. The texturing on the roof here. The stairs going up to the... This, like, kind of... I don't know, it's like this is in proportion, and then the top bit isn't. And then just every bit, like every little strut and metal, like, girder, if you like, is attached to each individual letter. Like, there's nothing missing. Stairs and glass, and yeah, you can see it for yourself. I love the detail that these default airports. And look at that, you've got a nice little rooftop helipad as well for yourself. Where's that Embraer on there? There he goes, disappearing below the tree line. Again, love this airport. This was one of my favorites, to be fair, because it's we even got some wheelchairs as well there. You got your you know, your barriers there for your security area. Again, no people. Bit disappointing to see no people in these, but I think these interiors are done mostly to enjoy from the aircraft. They've done a sort of a 3D interior. They've put what they needed to in there. They haven't gone above and beyond for anything like that, which, to be very, very honest, they're doing 6 or 7 different airports each time. I don't expect it to have a fully fleshed out interior. And to be fair, you can get less in payware. You know, some payware sceneries don't even come with interior at all. Yeah, very nicely done. More hangars over there. There's more stuff over there. There's even more down there. It's fantastic. It really is. I love the kind of the teal blue taxiways as well. Not the taxiways, of course, but yeah, I don't think that 737 would be parked on stand there. But anyway, loads, just loads of every building custom modeled. You are definitely getting payware quality, and the car parks look immaculate as well. definitely another one for everyone to enjoy some flying. I don't know if BA or Transavia use this airport. I'm assuming they do, but they probably don't park on those stands. I think Just Flight Traffic has messed up on that. Bits of modelling here I've noticed. They've actually put a... Don't think this is modelled as in landscaped. I think it's an actual model, like a builder model, but made to look like grass. But it looks pretty cool. What is this? There he is. There he goes. I don't know, like a canal side cafe or something, but again, modelled in there. This massive complex of buildings as well. Trucks and vans and, I guess staff parking and stuff. It's fantastic. It really is. I think we're so lucky to get all these included airports. I think other developers would be seeing the green, if you like, and selling them all separately. Look at that. There's even a little kids climbing frame, kids playground. This sort of older looking building here for this. That'll be turned into a Wetherspoon soon. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. You can see they've even put a bit of construction here for some kind of new apron as well. Even more down here as well. I'm still curious about these N2 airports because I can't remember them at all. I can't remember putting them in the list. Look at that. Fire zone, you can see that it is actually the newer fire engine models. Airport training, look at that. I've never seen one so boxy and square. Like, it looks like some kid has drawn an ATR or a Dash 8 or something, and then stuck a DC-10 tail on it. And then this as well, look at this. I am looking forward to Corfu now, more so the fact that I can now, well, I can partially fly the A320, A319, A321 in some cases. I mean, they literally are all the same, but you can just feel the length a bit more on the A321, I must admit. But yeah, I am. The thing for me now with these airports is that I'm getting introduced to even more airports because the fact that I can plan some routes out with the Airbus aircraft and go and visit these airports. So I do like that side of things. One of those being the Builds airport that I'm going to show off on Monday. So yeah, that is Rotterdam. What time are we on? Are we making good time? Yeah, we are. I think we are. Let's have a little look. I'm just looking. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry to slow things down. Yeah, I'm just curious on these last two airports because I honestly can't remember what they look like or where they are. One of them, the next one, was introduced in World Update 14. So we are getting a bit more up to date now. Central Eastern Europe. And to be honest with you, again, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation on this one. Rijeka. It's probably a million miles away from the pronunciation. This is Lima Delta Romeo India. Croatia, is that? Yeah, I actually can't remember coming here at all. Can't remember at all coming to this airport. Let's have a little look. There is a pilot's experience sim version of this airport that has got 4.7 out of 5 stars, but there's only been 4 reviews. Currently £9. Currently £9, not too bad. There is a default version in the simulator. I think for me this was probably one to do with the fact that it's on the island and it's in a really lovely location. Is this Croatia or is it Italy? It's not Italy, is it? I think it's still Croatia, isn't it? I'm curious now because I can't remember going to this one. Let's have a little look. It's a small one. Let's stick the little bonanza there. Looks like we've got a bit of more nice weather over there as well than what we had before. Here we go. Oh, this. There's even an old 737 fuselage there. Lovely location. The clouds here. Look at how mean those clouds look. We might get stuck in the rain again. Let's have a little look around this one. I'm curious because I can't remember coming to this one at all. I can't remember at all. Let's have a little look. Let's zoom out. See the island we're on. So there's been some roads mapped out. It looks like what's this? Some sort of, some remote stands. Let's hope you're never on that stand when you fly out from here. Yeah, there's been some roads done, some markings on them. It's not, it's not as detailed as Rotterdam, but it's not too bad. There's even a bridge over here. Look at this, connecting the mainland up. Lovely stuff. Sadly, auto-genned in this area, but I'd imagine so. First time I've seen the auto-gen completely miss buildings out, and it's a bit spotty in areas, isn't it? It's a shame because obviously that's the approach path right there, you know. But the scenery around here, what an approach and what a departure you're getting from here. I think it's the smallest we've had, isn't it? See if there's anything else over this side. I don't think we have. I think it's mostly again more sort of weird remote sort of stand locations. Not too sure what it is. Maybe maybe has some military presence here. Some nice masking and satellite imagery around here for this little kind of lake. But yeah, I think it was more to do with the location and the fact that there's a, there is a handcrafted airport all the way out here. Let's have a little look. Some fuel tanks, kind of where all the where all the fuel is stored at this particular airport. Vans and trucks, and oddly enough, more stutters at this airport than the others. That's just my sim now. I think now, because we are starting to get towards the newer world updates, the more recent world updates, more of the clutter and the newer models are being used for the scenery. Some of the cars are buried here, like, oh well, you're not getting your car back, but look at that. I think it's the clouds that really makes that image, I'll be honest, but very nice looking airport all the same. Nicely modelled. I think that is a screenshot, definitely. Do another one a bit more central there. Say that's one tall control tower. They got a belter of a view, haven't they, in there? These fences, don't know whether they are custom modeled, but they are certainly not ones I've seen being used in the default scenery. Pretty nice. That's one thing I love about Gaia simulations. They do ground clutter and just, scenery clutter in general very, very good. Some storage units, and I'm assuming where they are, the ground crew's located, catering and stuff like that, as a guess. But again, lovely, lovely. Look at that. You don't expect that on these sort of, included airports. Stuff that's been peeling off and aged over time. Let's have a little look. Let's have a little look inside. They've even put like a green tint on the window glass as well. Look at that. Can we go inside? No. Ah. Little plant on there. Some very, very old monitors as well. I mean, it was probably an old airport, but they definitely still aren't using CRT, are they? Oh, maybe they are. Little Gaia Simulations logo on the laptop. Oh. It glitched up, that's all. Little Gaia Simulations logo on there. Lovely stuff. And then the actual terminal itself, again, no sort of landside modeling for the interior, but you're not supposed to have your drone at the airport, guys. What's going on here? Random 2 glasses of wine, pair of binoculars, a map, and a drone. Don't ask me to understand. Some people like it that way. We've even got this is where I'm terrible at things. It kind of looks like a... Is it a lightning? I don't know. It's floating. It's doing a little wheelie on there, but I tell you what, the modeling on it is very nice. Look at that. I'll be interested to see if that is actually there at the airport. I'm assuming that it is. Otherwise, why put it there? Another little screenshot there, I think. Look at that. Problem is, there's no aircraft on the ground, but definitely with the surrounding scenery, it does look nice. Let's see if I can find it. Everything's really slow. I apologize if you're. Let me know if the stream's lagging like that. It's not on my screen, but you never know. Where are we? F84. There you go. That's why we've got you guys in the chat. I do want to see if it is viewable. I think it does look like it's there. Let's have a little look and see if we can get street view. There's a street view right outside. It's very, very good coverage on Google there as well. Yeah, right there, right where it is on the scenery. Pretty cool. No gates around it either. Nothing sort of separating the public from it. Hey, they've got it spot on there, I think. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Very, very, very cool to see. Again, even on a default airport, having stuff like authentic signage and aircraft and stuff outside. Even this, look at this. No guts, no glory. Dim 12, the Croatia flag there. Don't know the story behind this. I'm sure that it's at the airport. It looks like... Don't think it's there. I don't think it's actually there. Not in the Google... Not in the Google satellite imagery. It's not there now. But very interesting. There is those kind of aprons in the side of, each end of the runways as well. I can see on Google. It might even be military or past military. But again, you don't usually see these specific models associated with the airport sceneries in default. Sometimes you never see them in payware as well, so it is very detailed. And look, here we go. We have got a... It's almost like the airport is very unique. It's like there's balconies for each. It's like it looks like a set of apartments, doesn't it? In fact, was this airport building a set of apartments? Because it's like they've adapted it to an airport. It's weird. It's a very weird looking airport. Ramps down from the balconies. They've made very good. I tell you what, if it was apartments back in the day, then they've done well to kind of make it work. And you know what? There is a pretty substantial interior to this. You can't go inside. Let's... Good old developer camera will be our friend here, so we can go and have a little look. The problem is with developer camera, you can't mess about with the speeds or the rotation speeds and stuff like that. It's just one speed, and I think one's... Oh no, you can zoom. This is a really nice airport. One terminal building, one control tower, no messing about. I mean, it's got all the stuff in it. It's got the lampshades, it's got the pictures and stuff. again, all this added for free for us in the various world updates. It's funny though as well because they haven't put any glass on the land side, because we're literally by the land side. Like, they've done all the interior modeling, so it's a bit weird that they haven't put any actual windows there for you to have a look at, because clearly they've modeled everything in. But still, you know, it's there. They've done it, and it looks fantastic. I say that the level of detail in the interior for this one is probably a bit more because of how close it is, you know, to the stands and the apron. For this one, I don't see any point in paying for a payware, in my opinion, unless, and I can use this as an example, if the payware version is, you know, ultra detailed and it's your local airport, maybe it holds a special place, like Liverpool, for example. For me, that is fantastic the way it is, and the location's great as well. I am interested to see who uses this, but all my windows are very, very, very stuttery at the minute, so it's not ideal. So this is Lufthansa send their A320 from Frankfurt. It's not a very busy air, unless I'm not seeing everything from Flight Radar, but it's not a very busy airport by the looks of it. Munich with the ATR, Belgrade with a what looks like a Beechcraft. Is that Air Croatia or Croatian Air with the ATR? This MD-80 is a train and oh right, okay. Do you know what? I honestly thought that was a 737. But now that you say it, there's where the engine mount is for the back engine. Just looks a bit small, that's all. But obviously, yeah, that could be it might be the back. It looks weird. It doesn't look too big. It looks more like a really, really small 737, doesn't it? There's probably more info online, but obviously, Pedro, I appreciate it, mate. I haven't really looked into it. It doesn't seem like you can see it at the airport. Maybe I missed it. I didn't have a good look at it. But yeah, that is another fantastic one that is free for you guys to go and download. Let's take a look at the last one, which again, I'm just as clueless because I can't remember this one either. So I do apologize. But it is nice because it means that I am sort of also getting a first look again. So Puerto, Plata, Mike Delta, Papa Papa. Again, there is a payware available from Dreamflight. Oddly enough. Dreamflight obviously have featured on the channel heavily recently. There is a Dreamflight Studios version. It only scores 3.6 out of 5 with 28 reviews, and it's 14 quid on the marketplace. Let's have a little look. Didn't Dreamflight do a lot of stuff over here as well? That's a freeware Punta Cana, which isn't actually that bad, to be fair. Let's have a little look. This was introduced in World Update 16, the Caribbean update. So let's have a little gander at this one. This one, again, I can't remember going to. Because obviously I do make massive lists of these airports and then go to them to have a little look at them. I can't remember coming here at all. So let's have a little look. He was chopped and shortened. Oh, nice. Okay, Pedro, thank you for that. Makes sense. Definitely No, I know the MD-80 is a bit bigger than, bigger than that, isn't it? Here's another one. Now, this is, again, more recent. One of the more recently added airports. So, I'm not saying that it gets even more detailed. I know by looking at the recent Australian one that they certainly have upped their game, but I am again guessing with Gaia Simulations that with their time with working with Microsoft Flight Sim and Asobo, that they've been able to grow the team potentially and do more just because of that case, just because of that really. The fact that they've been able to go back to their own sceneries as well, because they did sceneries as a third party back in the day. Then obviously went off to work with Microsoft doing the world updates and stuff. And now they, announced they will be doing their own stuff again. But it seems like they are still working with the flight sim and Asobo to produce the various airports like we're seeing now. And the points of interest as well. So yeah, this is the last one we're having a look at. Puerto Plata, which, again, we're in a beautiful location. Water masking is lovely here. Again, I'd love to maybe see, maybe not in this particular simulator, but maybe simulators going forward, just I get real waves, real wakes, real water hitting the shores, because the water looks great in the sim, but when you start getting, doesn't matter how good the water masking is on the shores of each bit of land, it just looks very static, doesn't it? Sometimes the water helps it along, and it does give the illusion of it moving, but yeah, it's all static textures. It does look good though. Does look good, and we're in a fabulous location to end this live stream in as well. So let's have a look around. So there's a few different elements of this airport. There's bits going on here, all modeled in, and obviously the main apron here as well. Let's have a little look. Looks like the roads have been mapped in with some kind of texture and actual road markings as well. Let's have a little look. I think the auto-gen buildings here are really nice. I think the style of buildings for the island. I've never been here, but I think as a sort of an estimation, I think the auto-gen does a nice job at filling in the gaps where there's no photogrammetry or custom buildings. Here you can see that they've actually put in a little bit of an entranceway to the airport, which looks great. The trees look obviously amazing in 2024, but they just decide where they want to go, so. Nice entranceway here. I love that Gaia Simulations have obviously tried to match up the auto. Not try to match up, obviously. They've kept the texturing and the building theming correct, Texturing is nice, but not ultra sharp like we see in some payware, but it doesn't matter in my opinion. I think they're still putting wires and cameras and stuff. I mean, there's wires coming out of the little holes here. It's very intricate, and there's all the signs are all authentic to the area. In fact, I've got a freeware live stream coming on Thursday. No, not Thursday, Wednesday. And I'll be taking a look at some more freeware airports, of course. And one of my favorite creators, freeware creator, that I featured on the channel in 2021. His Brazilian airports are just some of the best you've seen. The modeling and the textures, fantastic, and it's freeware. Bruno Rijeka, I featured him on the channel years back, and he's actually gone back and redone built up from the ground up all of his old airports, 2 of them anyway, and I'm going to put them on the freeware live stream on Wednesday. Definitely check it out, guys, because what I'm seeing here, even though we're not in Brazil, it is very reminiscent of his style of work, his attention to detail. So yeah, if you want to see some nice freeware airports, those included, definitely tune in or catch it and you can rewatch it afterwards. I'm going to say this is definitely military because I can see some Black Hawks over here. Pretty cool though, some military wagons and vans and stuff like that. Really nicely done by Gaia Simulations. I'm glad that Asobo Microsoft used their expertise when it came to the world updates and the points of interest as well. Some of these new Australian points of interest we featured on the live stream last week were fantastic. Not too sure what that is. It's like wires going up in the tree. Never seen that before. Looks cool though. So yeah, the airport does have a military presence. Like their own sort of apron just attached to the runway. Can actually see some of the assets, some of the objects that were used in that Australian Air Force base that was on the World Update 21. What this being one of them. In fact, it was actually folded up. This was folded up, this one, and it was in one of the hangars. So that's cool. Right, let's head along. Have a little look. Just follow the roads and see if they've added in some of the perimeter roads again. It does look like they have. There's actually some dirt roads heading off towards the airport there as well, which is pretty interesting. Pretty decent sized airport. I think I briefly remember coming to this, but I didn't spend a lot of time having a look at it. Just see they've modelled the roads quite a distance all the way down here. I just want to have a look at the surrounding, the approach into the airport, which in this case is mostly just shoreline, and there's not going to be any buildings or anything. You see some of that 2024 added details in the new rocks and the trees as well. It makes things close up look really nice, doesn't it? And some of that displacement mapping that you can turn off and on, maybe turn that off. Maybe, I don't know if it takes a massive chunk of performance out. I know right now that I really need to start doing some optimization for my sim, because with doing this airline flying, my landings are shockingly bad, I think. Because I need more practice, but because the sim just stutters so badly when I'm on approach to any of these airports. Like, it makes landing so much harder, because in some big airports, it actually just stutters and pauses for a good 3-4 seconds, and then the plane is halfway down the runway then. So there's no way I can actually control my landings very well. Anyway, there was a little entrance road. Let's just get back onto the road. There we go. And then we can go in and see. Ooh, that's a big drop. Whee! We can have a little look at the landside area. Oh, look at this. Hang on, is this the military stuff again? No, it's not. There we go. Microsoft Basketball Simulator for yourselves. Yeah, I think the reason why I came here is because again it was very, very densely populated with objects, and overall just you know even more detailed. Yeah, so there's lots of sort of factory storage buildings, utility buildings, and then down here they've got more as well. They've got like a is it more fuel stations and just I get added detail to put in like construction areas, even if Gaia simulations are having a sort of a guess on you know some of these areas using a bit of satellite imagery to fill in the gaps. It's like the car parks like flank with like loads of solar panels as well. And then yeah, there is our really dated airport. Nothing looks like newly built. No modern terminal, just the way it was for many years. A little bit of a entranceway there. There we go. Another little what would you call it? Gatekeeper. Not bad at all. Look at that. The sign itself is very detailed, like a marble stone almost. You can see you actually see the texture on the slab of marble, if you like. Fully 3D sign as well. Aerodrome. Is it supposed to be aerodrome or is it definitely aerodrome? I'm gonna say it's the language. And we do have an interior as well. It's like a Air Transat A330 just sitting off. I'll have a little look and see. I'm curious. Let's have a little look and see what we are getting here. What was it called? It is actually a lot more busier than our Croatian airports. Yeah, you got some flights from Miami with the American Airlines, JetBlue from New York, Air Transat do bring their A330s in from Toronto. Nice. Condor bring their A330 Neos, A330 900s from Santo Domingo. Yeah, it gets about well, it looks like 6 or 7 flights a day. So most days. Very well connected. And then there is quite a long area full of hangars, and again they like their basketball here. A little basketball court for the workers. And then just more utility sheds and work areas. It's again, it's quite not an odd area, but an airport that you wouldn't necessarily think would be added in. But I think it always is the case for these world updates, is that some of the airports are just not what you think they're going to be, or what you think would be added in. Oi, hello guys. Hello. Nice to see you. We are on the last airport, so obviously anyone joining us now, please do watch the live stream back. We've been to 4 of 5 default airports, and we're just gonna have a little look around here to end the live stream, because we do have what looks like I think it's quite a significant interior to this airport. It's actually outside. Pretty cool. Have we got, yeah, we got collision on there. That's pretty unique. Can only imagine it gets really, really warm here. So having a sort of an outdoor area to the airport, especially with the long queues. Lovely stuff. Okay, we have got the live weather on, so it does look pretty warm here. I'll say all the signage is pretty sharp and crisp. It doesn't look blurry, does it? Don't even think we looked at the last airport in the night lighting, did we? I do apologize. I am terrible when it comes to that. But we do look. It does look like we've got an airside interior. So, and all the little bits behind the scenes are all done as well. Pretty nice. What I'll do is I am going to turn the night lighting on just so we don't forget it on this. And we can have a little look. I'm going to have to put the developer camera on. I don't like the movement on the developer camera because it's not as smooth. Like I say, you can't manipulate the speed of it. Pretty. I tell you what, it's a pretty large interior to it. Obviously, not everything is done. Some of the lower levels aren't done. Oh, here he goes. Not bad. Just go back to the landside area so we can have a little look inside. Massive big fans on the ceiling. Not too sure. Like a helicopter. You know, it's all there. Let's just glitch through and see what we've got in terms of the interior. Not bad at all. I mean, the night light seems to be glitching out a bit, but again, I think most of these more recent ones have been to really enjoy from the outside, the stands and stuff like that. They're still nicely done. A lot of the objects are very, very high fidelity for what they should be, you know. But yeah, they have spent time and done a bit of an interior to it. Don't know what the flashing is. I've noticed this flashing has been introduced recently with moving through interiors in the dark. And there's like the sort of the round section at the end. Not bad at all. Default Innsbruck is pretty nice as well. It is very nice, yeah. Again, I think every airport we've been to in this live stream, they've had a payware alternative, you know. And again, you know what? If you like me, not like me, but in a sense of what I'm trying to say is when I had a look at EDNY Builds Liverpool. EDNY Builds Liverpool is obviously the your definitive Liverpool airport. It's what I like. I use it quite a lot in the sim. It's my local airport, so I understand that it's the same for simmers in each region of the world. You know, in each location in the world, they definitely always want to have the very, very best of their favorite airports, their local airports, the ones that they fly out a lot of, the ones that they connect with a lot. So I totally get that, but I think it's becoming very hard now for not hard for developers, not at all. I just think if we're getting these handcrafted versions that are really detailed, then it starts to become hard to spend money on payware, because I think everyone that I've shown in this live stream, I think it's hard to then be like, you can get a £15 version, a £10 version. It is available. You can get one. Do you want to go and get it? Again, it's really, really, if you want that kind of detail, they're all fantastic. The only thing that they're really missing here, Gaia Simulations, is the people models. And with the level of detail they put into these default handcrafted airports, it's odd that they didn't bother with any people models. They're fantastic. Look at this. I mean, you would not be disappointed as a consumer, as a simmer, if you wanted this airport, you go out to look for it and you find it, and there's a developer making it, and this is what you get, and you've spent X number of pounds on it. I don't think you'd be disappointed, even without the people models. Not too sure what this A330 is doing. I don't think he would make it in real life. Let's see if we can use... I'm going to be showing more of Flight Control Spotter. Is this the one? The problem with the flyby mode, also the sound's gone now for some reason. Problem with the flyby mode is it's like this. It kind of doesn't let you change the location. Not that I've found so far. It doesn't let you change the angle or the location of where your camera is. So that's the only bit of a downside. And you can't change these angles or anything. It's a bit of a shame. And it's not the most intuitive when it comes to getting the camera back. But yeah, I will have a dedicated live stream with Flight Control Spotter. He did make it, yeah. It could have been based on a real world takeoff. But he did. He made it. He did. But yeah, guys, I'm going to make like a tree, and I'm gonna get out of here, as Biff would say. Again, you need to know Back to the Future to get that reference, but I'm sure most people do. But yeah, I've got a lot of live streams scheduled in for this coming 2 weeks. I've got some X-Plane 12 live streams if anyone's interested. I'll be taking a look at some old airports. I'll be taking a look at some new airports. I'll be taking a look at some freeware airports as well. A nice variety of some live streams. I know a lot of you are waiting for some pre-recorded videos. There is going to be some pre-recorded videos. Like I say, I'm gonna get a video out of this tiller, this Airbus tiller sent by Huwalt, which I think is brilliant. I think if you're doing any kind of Airbus flying, I mean, you could probably still use it for Boeing and stuff like that. But if the Boeing have tillers, they do, don't they? I'm sure they do. They're just they look different in the Boeings, don't they? They're like more of a wheel on the side, aren't they? I think. Yeah. But yeah, this Airbus tiller, absolutely fantastic. You know, not having to need to twist the joystick now is really good. A lot more control, and definitely not having to use rudder pedals to steer the aircraft. It's a reasonable price, but I'll have a dedicated video out for it. There's an unboxing video on my social media of it, and there's going to be a little YouTube short tomorrow. I think tomorrow going out of it being unboxed. So go and check it out. Also, as well, being sent these. You guys probably know these are AR glasses. This one in particular, I would say, was more of a screen that you can use as a pair of glasses you can use as a screen. It's I wouldn't say it was AR glasses as such, but I've got some ideas with this, and I want to see if it works. Tomorrow, I'm being sent something in the post that will let me try it out. I really have got my fingers crossed because for the past 2 or 3 years, I've been thinking, could I use these in some way? And I'm going to find out tomorrow, hopefully. So, yeah. Freeware live stream on Wednesday. Keep a look on my Discord, social media, and obviously a YouTube post. Everything is always scheduled in. I will paste it in and link it in and show you that I'm going live and stuff. So, yeah, some fantastic freeware stuff to show you on Wednesday. Can't wait to show you them. The freeware flightsim.to was getting just so much more saturated with payware quality stuff. It always sounds a bit too good to be true, but honestly, the stuff that I show you on Wednesday, incredible. Some of it will pass as payware, and some of it, I hope these freeware creators are looking to break the market into having their creations paid for, because they do deserve it. And I know there's been a lot of freeware developers or creators that have gone on to make payware. Ends of Day Simulations being one of the biggest. But we are seeing more freeware people break into the market. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. And I'll see you on Wednesday. There's loads more to come, guys. Please do comment and get involved with these streams after the fact when they are made available, please. I'll see you soon.